opinions expressed in the preceding program were those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV.
Empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy. Get your pen, get your notebook, Real TV, so you could take notes on important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Nathaniel Reed. On behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive, and great day today. Happy Tuesday, my friends. It's Tuesday, the 19th of May, 2026. Let me gently remind you, it is a day and time we will never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. Do something productive and constructive with your day and time, all right? And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. Remember, tomorrow is not promised, so express your love and gratitude. It's so important. Nathaniel, can we please go to our quote for today? And of course, our quote coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "Today I will wake up with a grateful heart, count my blessings, help someone in need, share kindness, let go of what I can't control." Oh, Nathaniel, this is nice. I'm going to repeat it again. Today, I am going to wake up with a grateful heart. I'm going to say, thank you, Lord, for today. Count my blessings. Thank you for your blessings. Try to help someone in need. Share kindness. And simply kindness sometimes could be a smile. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing? You walk in a room and there's an elderly, give them the seat. That's kindness. And let go of what you can't control. What you know you can't control in the moment, let it go, let it be. And let God take control, right? Thank you, Nathaniel. That came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. Let's quickly go to their ad, please.
Looking for something truly unique this season? Then you need to visit Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Brand new containers have just arrived, packed with one-of-a-kind garments you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're shopping for something stylish, traditional, or custom-made, we've got you covered with made-to-order pieces tailored just for you. And it doesn't stop there. Take a stroll through our full food court, offering delicious options for the entire family. From savory bites to sweet treats, there's something for everyone. Plus, don't miss our big sale on furniture. Upgrade your home with beautiful pieces at unbeatable prices. So come on down to the Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas, where culture, style, and savings come together.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional and international viewers. All those of you on Tego, the app, remember to tell your friends and family about the app. All you've got to do is download it on your device. Look at Real TV, real time, anytime, all right? And tell your friends and family about it, because it's great programming around the clock. Not just on Conversations, but each and every program that we have here. You're going to be enriched with knowledge. Knowledge is power. When you have good knowledge, you make better decisions, and we all will enjoy a better tomorrow, all right? Remember to like and share the show as well, because it's good content, yeah? I'm asking you to like it and share it as well, please. Today, I'm in conversation with a lady who has a passion when it comes for development and growth, when it comes to our children, helping them to be on the right path, helping them to focus. What do we need to do? Sometimes we are trying our best as parents, and it's a simple thing that we learn when we think outside of the box, or we listen to people such as herself with the strengths and the know-how and the knowledge that could help us get our children on the right path, helping them to also evolve and to make the best of decisions. So I'm in conversation with Laura Lewis, and she is the founder of Renge Educational Services. And today she's here to talk to us to choose from chaos to consistent, designing systems that will make learning actually work. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to all of your viewers.
You know, it's people like you that we certainly really should appreciate, and especially for parents and guardians and grandparents who take full responsibility of children, that will help us to understand our children best so that we get the best out of them.
Yes.
In terms of even making decisions in career paths or choosing subjects. And a lot of children with exams, a lot of children are in the path now where they choose subjects. A lot of the children are overwhelmed and overburdened and challenged, even the idea of going to school and then preparing for the SEA. It's always a drill and adrenaline to push them. And I come from old school, where I understand the importance of education, but I also feel very strong about children should be children. And they should not be burdened. They should enjoy life. They should enjoy their journey and not have to be stressed and burdened, you know?
Yes, so that kind of forms the foundation of what Renge is trying to achieve, actually. We want to have well-balanced children. And I've been operating Renge for close to 14 years now, and I've observed that a lot of the stress and strain around the educational journey actually comes from the adults around children. So not just the SE and CSEC and CAPE. Once exams are on the table, the adults stress the children. So what I have been doing, in addition to providing remedial support through private tutoring, is developing a system for students to get in the habit of organizing their time and becoming intrinsically motivated to get work done. So if they perform well, their parents would not be on them so much.
True. You're preaching here this morning. It's true, because having children who are focused and children who they bring home the A's, the A+, I think it's less burden for the parents, because parents understand the importance of a good education. I want to make it abundantly clear. It is important that we also recognize we have 5 fingers, and none of these fingers are the same. So you may have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or how many other children, and you may think all need to be like the one that's bringing home the A. And that is far from the truth. Or we need to recognize our children's strengths. So you might find one might be very good when it comes to education, one might be very good when it comes to the ability to sing, one might be good to draw. They have different strengths and talents, and I think as parents and as adults, we need to identify that and help develop each child differently. So this is what I would want to ask you now with regards to your program and what you came up with. Is it a one-fits-all, or do you have individual packages or individual ways of dealing with each child? How does it work?
Right. So I've always operated on a one-on-one basis.
Right.
So I have a system in place that is tailored to each child's needs.
Nice.
So,
Now, I think what we also need to identify is that our kids, however old they are, they should be children. We should treat them as children and not adults. Very often, some of them, because of situations and circumstances, they mature more than others. My child is one of those. So I guess it's because living with an adult and having, you know, she would take up certain responsibility for herself. Not that it was put on her, but she is like that. So some children mature differently. Some children mature faster, some take longer to do so. And that's fine. When we talk about having balance for our children, I also think it's extremely important. I think number one is sometimes we are so caught up in our world trying to pay the bills and trying to make things happen and trying to be responsible for everything. We sometimes neglect to remember that these are our kids, and they also, from the time they get up, they on a little routine to pray, to take a bath, to pray, to eat, to get themselves ready to go to school. Then they go to school. We are not there, but they have their little playtime, or they have their little bacchanal too, and they have their little bullying, and they have children are children. Then they get into different circumstances. Now there are children who would sit quietly and not mingle and mix, and they would take a book and they would read or they would color, and that's fine. Doesn't mean they're better or they're different. It's just that that's who they are. We need to respect that. But then there are children who personality is like everybody knew them in school, and you know, it's just like that, or they have an extra energy, right? And so they also have their little challenges that they face at school. And then they come home. Some parents believe in after school, making sure that they do some extra lessons to help polish them, to help bring them to where they're at. Some parents just not bother. They play, they watch TV, they do whatever. They have everybody have their own formula. But we should also be always mindful that they are little sponges. And every conversation that we have, they absorb. Or everything we say, they absorb.
Yes.
So we need to be mindful not even to continue to burden them.
Yes. So the thing is, for conscientious parents, their children's performance at school tends to be something on the parents' to-do list, and they generally may not understand that the children are tiny human beings in their own right. So the parents would have an idea of what they want their children to achieve. They may have the resources to spend towards the child achieving that, but it may not be something that the child is intrinsically motivated to work towards. So the parents may have that frustration built in because they have an idea of what the child wants, or what they want the child to do, and the child would not be fully developed enough or fully mature enough to be completely dedicated to this one life path. So the child would not be willing to put in the time and effort to show that there is a return on the parents' investment in them. So that will create some conflict in the home.
Well, of course, because I mean, if you have parents who are already perhaps burdened or consumed in many ways, and you feel, all right, my child, because of the standards that the school will set, or a constant exams and
even
always
standards
whatever,
that the parents have set themselves.
it's themselves. You said something that's extremely important. So I think what is important is that I want to go back to the point that you're making, where we're paying for lessons and extracurricular. It's not only about paying an extracurricular. Let me tell you something, and I'm talking now as a parent on behalf of parents. Number one, it's time consuming. Number one, first thing, especially not a housemaker. A housemaker, yes, she has her work to do at home, and she takes care of the home, and she also nurtures and takes care of the children, which we understand and respect. But there are working mothers like me, single mothers like me. I could fall in and I could talk on behalf of these women, because this is reality. You work, you're consumed with your work, you manage, you have to do everything and get it done in a right way to be successful. Sometimes you're struggling to pay your bills, everybody's seeing you and think everything is okay, but it's not, because you have to find income now to put everything in place. You leave, you then responsible for getting that child home, whether it's going through homework, whether if you have extracurricular, you send them to somebody that will help them to go through their homework and to revise and prepare for tests for the week. Because sometimes you yourself so frustrated, you cannot, because the child will get the worst of you. So it's time consuming, it costs money, then you have to go pick them up, then you have to get dinner ready, then you have to deal with whatever they had during the day, try to sort that out. You have to get ready for the next day to ensure that they are okay for the next day. You have to take care of yourself. You yourself have work to do, homework to do. So it's another job. So it is frustrating for parents.
So the thing is, with parents who double as the homework supervisor, your child will recognize you as an authority in one way, but they may not necessarily want you to interfere with them in another way. Because I've seen this with parents who are themselves educators. They can't be the ones to teach their children their specialty subject. The children will just not be willing to absorb it. So it's going to be doubly frustrating for those kinds of parents. So you want to ensure that your child gets the best out of you. You want to be able to make sure that your child is on top of the work that they are doing, So sometimes it's better to have an external adult who is emotionally removed from the situation to hold your child accountable to getting their work done and staying on top of what they need to do.
Yeah, and I like that, because then you have a cutoff point. Then you have a cutoff point, and then you don't also have a confusion with personalities clashing, where you see in the worst of the child because you're already frustrated, you already had a full day of work, and now you have to deal, you have to go through everything and deal with it, and then it's the same for the child. It takes away now that parent, and you know, it could turn into a lot of animosity as well. So sometimes I think in that scenario, you know, if you know you cannot invest or give all of your time to that child on an afternoon, if not every day, couple of days, you get that extracurricular or get that extra intervention that could help them to reach their greatest potential. You said something that's very important, and when we come back, I want to discuss that, and that is what we expect from our children, the goals we set for them. And I want to talk about that when we return, because very often, if we did not live our dreams,
yes, I see that a lot.
We did not and because my sister child doing this, or my brother child, or the neighbor, or the cousin, or what, or the same child in the same house, another child, you expect that of every child. And I want to discuss that when we return. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we talk about our children.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
My mom has everything. What do I give her?
This May, give her something meaningful. Celebrate every moment with elegant accents. In honor of all mothers, we're offering an exclusive 50% off gold and platinum plated jewelry, the perfect way to show love, appreciation, and timeless elegance. Discover so much more in store: fragrances, watches, handbags, home decor, gift items, and more. Visit us at Elegant Accents, 339 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, 6 buildings east of Cora Junction on the left, or WhatsApp 719-3894. Make her feel cherished, because she deserves nothing less.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional and international viewers. Today I'm in conversation with Laura Lewis. Now Miss Lewis is the founder of Renge Educational Services. So she's been doing this for a very long time. She's trained and certified. She knows exactly how to assist, help and guide our children. And today we are speaking about choosing when you have chaos, And having, when children are not focusing, to have that level of consistency, to bringing that balance and striking that balance, okay? Welcome back. One of the, before the break, I said that when we come back, I would like to talk about the decisions that we make for our children or with our children.
Yes.
Now, we all understand that I think in some schools, from the time they go into primary school, from the time they go into first year, second year, they start preparing you, I think, for there's some schools that are very strict on certain things. And I appreciate that. We have the choice where we send our children and whom we want to influence them, because I think the school, it's really important that you gel with the school and have that relationship. You should always have that relationship with the teacher or teachers of your children, so that you could have those conversations to work together. You cannot expect, it is not the teacher's job, it is the teacher's job to help, the child go to school and they follow the system. But they are dealing with 20, sometimes 30 children in a class. You really think, with all the different personalities, you have the class clown, the one that's always talking, the one that's always distracted. You have the ones that are focused, the one that can't stay focused. And to have all of them, the attention to get a message across or to get a formula across, it's not easy. It's a very difficult job.
Yep, so it literally does take a village to raise a child. So the teacher does part of it, the parent has a lot to do with it, and other adults that interact with the child also has some responsibility in the raising of that child. So the main thing that I started off Renge with was I did my degree in engineering, and I noticed that there were a lot of students who did the cram to pass, and they came into the engineering program because their parents made them do sciences. They were literally not passionate about it. So I have been a science lover my entire life. I actually tried to prepare for med school, then decided I didn't like people that much, so I switched to engineering. And because I was prepared for med school, I had the science foundation to get through engineering well.
No, I'm happy that you shared that with us, because that's a personal experience, and that's exactly where I'm taking this conversation, where parents expect their children to live their dreams, and not everybody cut out to be a lawyer, not everybody cut out to be a doctor, not everybody cut out to be an engineer. I am aware, I could tell you of doctors that I know personally that are really upset, very disenchanted. They're very unhappy people because they demand of their job, the negativity that they get. And I always say, people think a doctor is a big thing. It is. You study hard and you work hard. But is it, what quality life do you have beyond? Or could you draw that line that you don't take? Because everybody that you see when you're a doctor, they come in sad. They come in hurt. They come in broken. They come in with a pain. They're in a bad mood. It's negativity you are dealing with, that you are now in control to take that and turn it around. That's not an easy job. So, and the reason I'm using a doctor is because people think being a doctor is a prestigious. It might be prestigious. They've earned it. They've worked for it. There's nothing wrong. I appreciate doctors. But the point is, they're human beings too.
Yes.
And not everybody set out. So because your doctor, your brother, your nephew, or your niece, or the neighbor, you think your child needs to do it as well. Many times, people would say, well, Zelisa, you're in the media, and I guess Malika, or your daughter, will get into the same part. And I said, oh no, this is my dream, and this is what I want to do. Whatever she wants to do, I will support her and help her to develop that gift. And I mean that. And I say that to her as well. You can do anything you choose to do. She can't be me. I am me. She has to be herself and shine for herself and do what makes her happy. But I always say to her, remember, whatever you choose to do, you give it your all.
Yes.
You become the best of it.
Yes,
That is what is important.
Yes, so I'm very grateful. I had very supportive parents, because I remember, like, when I was 5 years old when I decided I want to be a pediatrician, and my mother just wholeheartedly supported the entire thing. I literally prepared straight up to A-levels for med school, and she was in full support of it. I took some time off between A-levels and university to work in banking. And then, so that's how I discovered I would not be a good doctor because customer service was not my passion.
Right.
So,
and you already identify.
Yeah.
But then I am going to ask you now, if customer service or people, how do you deal with children? Because that is dealing with children one-on-one.
Ironically, I have a passion for children learning and following their passion because I was afforded the ability to follow my passion by my parents.
Okay, great.
So again, so I've noticed that my peers, while studying engineering, many weren't happy because they were pushed into the field and they weren't happy about it. And because I had that love of the foundational subjects, I was able to make my way through it. And when I started with the private tutoring aspect of the business, again, I noticed parents were like pushing their children, okay, so Laura's an engineer, Laura's an accomplished engineer, she can tutor you into this, and I'm dealing with children who are brilliant artists, brilliant musicians, brilliant at language, and I'm like, I love teaching math, I love teaching physics, I especially love teaching chemistry, but this is not for your child. So ethically, for me as a business owner, I decided to, well, the foundations for the system I'm actually launching in September came up and like, I can help your child be focused on getting through the work that they have to do in a consistent way so that they can build the habits that would help them develop their love for what they want to do, what they are passionate about. So even if the parent pushes them into a subject area that they may not be passionate about, they will at least have the foundation for achieving a goal. And achieving a self-actualized goal is much more important, so the child, again, will be intrinsically motivated to put in the work when doing the work gets hard. Because engineering school was very hard for me, again, prepared for med school, so just did physics up to Form 5. And then did a whole master's degree in engineering, which is all physics and math. So like engineering school was the first time in my life I ever experienced school being hard because I was not, well, I didn't actively prepare for it, but even though it was hard for me because I had that learning curve to overcome, I was still prepared to push through and do the work for it because it was something that I wanted to do.
The magic word is something you wanted to do. I've got, and I like to use me and my family or my acquaintances as examples because I know firsthand. So I have my 4 nephews and I have my niece. The first nephew, he did his master's and now, you know, he's doing his own thing and he's doing exceptionally well, just bought his home. Really very focused, planted, doing well. The second one just graduated with his master's. He's going on to do his PhD. We know he's going to do well. The third one, he is also at university, but I'll tell you something. He just born to excel. He would get honors and on the honor roll and get, it's natural. And I think he's also very disciplined, but he also has the art of balancing. So he has a private life and a personal life where he will go out with his friends and he will do things and they do different things. But the point is, this child is so, some people just born with natural ability. I think he's one of those, right? So he's really doing exceptionally well. My niece is at university doing psychology. And then I have a the youngest nephew, this is before my daughter, he wants to do business. He says he doesn't want to go to university. And I think that's wonderful. He doesn't have to go to university because the others, because he could go into business and do exceptionally well. It's his passion, it's what he likes to do, and I fully support him because from small he going in school and selling things. I'm telling you, from small he looking and he buying little things and selling. It's in him, and I think who doesn't want to see that? They're blind. He was just born to do business, natural. You speak to him, he's polished, he's well spoken, but he just decides that he doesn't. And I also, and I'm saying this on national television, if my child is at a point that she says, "Mommy, this is what I want to do," and she's happy and passionate, and I know it can sustain, and she has a solid rock in terms of a good foundation, I let my child do what she wants to do,
Exactly.
I'm not pushing her because I want her to do that, She has to be passionate about what she wants to do. I mean, I understand the importance of education. It is extremely, it's your gateway to the world. Nobody can take it away from you. But it doesn't have to be the end all if you choose not to do that. There's so many other options. But it's about having that peace of mind. It's about having that consistency in your life, and it's about striking balance where you're also living a happy life. And if you can't balance that, then what is life?
Exactly. So this would work well for the entrepreneurially minded students who come out of CXC or CAPE as well, because running a business gets hard sometimes. And again, you may be passionate about what it is you're running the business about, but there are certain aspects of running the business that you may not be as great with, and you need to be able to show up for your business and for yourself every day in a consistent way to ensure that the business continues to be successful.
You do a little management course. You do some little courses along. I know people that in their 60s and still doing courses to help themselves. And I admire people like that because they strike a balance doing something they love to do and they choose to do it. And you support people like that. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa. I truly believe, my friends, it's about being able to strike a balance. It's about being able to understand that, you see, life is precious. And you see, time is limited. You have to be able to strike a balance to be able to enjoy life as well. Work hard, but it's also take a little time for yourself to love you and to do things that make you happy. But in the end, it's really about making the choices that will make you happy. And when you are happy and you have that peace of mind, even what you deliver is going to be at its best. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa. You'll never work a day of your life if you love doing what you do, because you enjoy doing it, you'll give it your all, right? Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance, is thermally and acoustically insulated, provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
I am Zelisa Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, our regional and our international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. Today I am in conversation with Laura Lewis. She is the founder, she's the heartbeat of Renge Educational Services. Thank you, Nathaniel. And we are talking about having some consistency in the lives of your children, yeah? And welcome back, yes. So, you know, very often parents say, and I will tell you the truth, sometimes I say it. I'm being very honest. Because I am the adult, I am the mother, and I say so.
Yes, right.
I'm being very honest. There are times that I do say things like that because my little daughter wants to question me. Well, why, mommy? Or why, mommy?
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I say because I am your mother. And I say so. I am the adult and you are the child. So I am guilty of this at sometimes. I ain't going to, I'm telling you as it is, right? Sometimes there are parents who make every decision for their children.
Yes, and it's important to allow the children to trust themselves in their own decision making, because if they are constantly waiting for an adult to tell them what to do, when they get to adulthood, they will constantly expect to be told what to do. So if we get our children in the habit of making decisions with them, then they should be able to trust any lessons that we wish to impart on them. So if we want to raise them in a particular way and we allow them to be part of the conversation as we move them and raise them in that particular way, they will more naturally tend towards what we choose to raise them with. So children are naturally inquisitive because they are new to the world relative to us. So we will make decisions for them based on our view of the world and not always realize that they haven't experienced the world in the way that we have, so they can't appreciate the lessons that we give to them. They sometimes need the life experience to fully appreciate the lessons.
You know, I'm happy that you said that, because reality and fact is we do not live in a bubble. That's number one. The reality is that life happens and this is life, and we have to be able to navigate the challenges in order to understand that we need to let them, sometimes we just need to let them be. We need to let them spread their wings and fly and be the wind, of course, yes, at all times as parents, because your child could be 60 years old, you're still their parent. You're a parent for life. That's the fact. Maybe the challenges or the problems become bigger. But the point I'm making is we are parents for life. I think if we lay a solid foundation in the sense that we do what we are supposed to do, we give love, we give nurture, we give them a nice, healthy, beautiful, clean environment. We give them nutrition, we make sure we educate them and we set them with good morals and values. We are setting them, we are giving them all that they need in order to carry on as adults in the world when they go out there. Because the fact is, you're absolutely correct. We are not always going to be there to make decisions for them. We have to prepare them for that. So I like you, sometimes it's very, and I will say this because I'm a single parent, it's really difficult at times because of you love them so much, you don't want them to get hurt or you don't want them to, but sometimes you just have to let them be and make decisions and learn for themselves. You are guiding them, you are helping them, what I do is I have conversations with my daughter all the time, but I always ask her, so what do you really think about that? I always ask her opinion.
Yes, so
what do you think? And you
matter.
think that's a good thing or you think that's a bad thing, girl? I always ask her, I give mine, and I ask her, and she says, well, mommy girl, you know, so and so, and yeah. Like we went to see the movie Michael Jackson, Michael, and she's totally, the child fascinated every morning now she listening to all these songs. But the beauty about it is that she had her interpretation of what the father was like to him. The affirmation, she was able to identify certain things that he does, so the point I'm making is that children do have a mind of their own. And we all need to listen to them sometimes. We need to listen to them and let them express their thoughts and feelings. And also, like you say, we don't want them to fall and hurt themselves, but sometimes you have to feel, right? Sometimes you have to have the experience in order to learn. Like sometimes I would say to people, you know, including myself, if I didn't go through this, this would not happen. So God was closing a door, but another one will open. Or, you know, this happened for a reason and a purpose. And I take life like that. And I think these are things we also need to understand, that we're not always going to be there with our children, but we must be able to trust them, and we must give them the fuel
and
to help them to be better good adults.
And these systems to be put in place so they would know how to navigate the world, because again, we can't prepare them for every single thing that they're going to experience in the world. We can just try to impart in them the morals and values that we would like them to have.
You're correct. Another thing is, a lot of people don't prepare their children for life, and I'm now speaking about money. And that's why you have people, honestly, that gamble, people that don't know how to manage money, and they make money, but they just don't know how to manage it. They're working hard, you know, and it come in here and it go in here, and they can't account for it. They don't know how to manage it. And so from a very young age, teach your children about budgeting, teach them about saving. So if you give them $1, teach them, okay, you could spend this out of it for the week, but save this, because with this is what you could do. And recently I was telling my staff that is something my father taught me at a young age, and I am happy to share it. And it's not being mingy and mingling, but it's about saving and be able to benefit out of saving. And I learned at a young age. I remember going on a vacation very young. I was very young, not even a teenager. And he said to me, Lise, I'm giving you, my mom was taking us on the vacation, and of course she would spend, but I remember him handing me money in my hand, and US dollars, and he said, I'm giving you this. You are entitled to buy what you want, but I want you to remember how to use it wisely. Not get the necessities first of all. Mommy's going to get you the food and take you into all the parks and whatever, but this is your money to spend. And I want you to understand, if you save or you ask for a discount, with that discount you could accumulate some money in everything you buy, and you'll be able to get something extra for yourself. And I've taken that formula with me for all of my life. And these are the lessons that it's not just we need to teach our children about life.
Yes, and there are very simple ways that we can do it as parents, even though I'm not a parent myself, but like as the auntie figure in everybody's life. So we kind of neglect that, and I've found that some parents, so like I do believe that having a village is important, but I have encountered some situations where the buck has been passed, unfortunately, and everybody thinks it's everybody else's responsibility to do certain things.
I like that you raised that too. That is important. You're absolutely correct. Your hand's not broken. Make up your bed. Put your shoes in place. I remember at a very young age, when my child was very young, she had a playroom and a play area, and after she played and made a mess, which is fine, she had that area to do. You pack up and put things back in the baskets where they belong, and it starts there. You take a bath, put back up your towel, don't leave it to hang all over the place. You have your clothes, put it back up, put it. You need to teach your children these things from small.
And don't expect that.
Give them chores. I read an article, and I was looking at some where when you teach your children who learn to do chores and have little responsibilities, the ones that grow up to be really productive and successful adults.
Yeah, so
and
this is
I
why
don't
I'm a
see
huge fan of the Montessori preschool system. It does introduce some academic work, and it doesn't put the focus on academic work. So you learn your ABCs, and you can impress the aunties and neighbors. Okay, my child is 3 and knows how to count to 30, kind of thing. But they also learn how to get their own meals, put away their own dishes after. So I am a huge fan of that, even though that's not an age group that I participate with generally. So I try to focus on SCA prep and up to CAPE, but I prefer to work with students who are prepping for exams because I find I add more value to them at that age.
But teach them to make a little salad, teach them to make a sandwich, teach them when you all are cooking together, cook together. This is it's not just an art that you're teaching them, but when they go out to learn on their own, they could cook their own food. It's teaching them the art of living and having that responsibility to do things and to be independent. You're not going to be there all the time. But if you give them the tools, or you prepare them, or you live the life, that's what they're going to take away. This is something that they're going to implement and teach their children. And that is what life is about, This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. It's about setting a good, solid foundation for our children. It is about striking balance, and it's about preparing them to be really good adults. Let's go to these messages.
At Good Price Wholesalers, we're inviting all business owners. Whether you operate a pharmacy, supermarket, mini mart, variety store, pet shop, hardware, or bookstore, we've got you covered. We offer a wide range of products, including baby and toddler items, confectionery and candy, cosmetics, fans, household supplies, party supplies, pet products, toys, stationery, and electronics. Wide selection, reliable quality, competitive prices. Contact us today at 380-8475, and one of our sales representatives will be happy to visit you. Good Price Wholesalers, your partner in business success.
Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says, and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
I'm coming clean.
Broadcast your yagnas, weddings, and Hindu celebrations live on Real TV. Share your special moments with us. Share your devotion with the nation. Call us at 373-8946 or email realtv.corporate@gmail.com to host your celebration today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us as we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. You know, when it comes to our children, they are our pride, our joy. We give our all. We make every sacrifice. Now, their parents that do that, and then there's some that just not bothered. But the fact is, it is really our duty and responsibility to ensure that we create well-rounded cultural adults that will go out there and really shine. Not just make us proud, but be examples. Be good law-abiding citizens that make a difference. And be good mothers, good fathers, good aunties, good uncles, because not everybody cut out to be a mommy and a daddy, right? But they could be the best of who they are. Sometimes you have a friend, you may not have children, but you have a friend who they have children and you influence those children in such a great way. Or you may not have kids, but your nephews and nieces are everything to you. That's like me, my nephews and my niece and my daughter, they are my world. And so the point I'm making is that we always set out to do what is right. We always set out to give our best, and we must remember we must be the sunshine in their lives, not give them a reason to be angry or hateful or have remorse and hate and regret and always saying my mother this and my father that, and not chatting and talking and not having a relationship, but rather creating a stronger bond by creating that relationship that is strong, that is rich, and that that when you go to the great beyond, you would have done your part or your role the best way you know how to. You made a difference in your children's lives, right? Welcome back to Miss Laura Lewis as we continue to discuss our children. And it's really about striking a balance, because we are humans. We're not perfect, as I said before, and I say it all the time. We don't live in a bubble. We live in a real world with real challenges and real storms and real things that come our way. And so we have to be real about how we deal and cope with these things.
Yes.
You know?
And then, and again, to build that resilience in our children as well, because at the very young age, where we put the pressure on them again to perform well for our egos, they need to have the systems in place to be able to understand what is happening, and again, try to put it into some kind of context from their level of understanding, and then learn and grow from that experience.
You're correct. They have to have their own experiences. And I say, the thing is, sometimes as a mommy, I'll tell you, we really have to, because everybody want to add their 2 cents. Mother, father, sister, or nephew, uncle, everybody want to have. And that's fine to listen to people, especially listen to people who would have been successful with their children. That's who you need to talk to or to guide you when you feel it, you hit a rock. But the important thing is understanding our children and setting them up, setting the right morals and values, being able to learn and grow together.
Yes.
And that is important. You're absolutely correct. Be the example. We're not perfect, because like I say, we all, but always try to aim to be. Always try to be your best. And as a parent, it is important. The truth is, we want what is best for our children. Yes. We want them to shine. We want them to be independent, not dependent. However, there are parents who are like that. They're happy when their children become dependent on them and them alone, because they hold the authority for their lives. But that is not right. It is clearly not right. You have to let them blossom. You have to let them grow and be their own individuals with their own thinking.
So again, this is where the village will come back in for helping to raise your child, because again, you are the authority in a particular way, but they can get input from another safe adult. I have to be very clear, like, trust the adults you have your children around to help guide you along the path that you want your child to take in life as
You
well.
said something there that's deep, and I always say that. Know who you're bringing in your circle, or whose circle you're going in. Know who you're bringing in your house. Know who those friends or family are. Who you're bringing in your house, into your life, into your circle, and who you also going into their lives and their circle. That is so important. That is such a deep and important advice for people, because very often we don't see that, and it's only when
things happen.
Things happen, and you want to hold your head and ball.
Yes, because
No.
if you insist on having the village and you choose your village because you're overwhelmed by the things that you have to do, and you just have your children around, any and everybody, that may not be the safest choice
Know
for you.
who your children heroes are. Know who the examples are that you want them to look up at. That is also important,
So
because
this will come back to you
friends or
having the conversations with your children about what is important to both of you, so your children can get to the place in life that you would like them to be.
You are absolutely correct. Talk to your children. Listen to them. Don't just hear them. Listen. Pay undivided attention. How was your day? What did you do? You understand who are your friends? What happened? You know, or what upset you today? Why are you supposed to know your child? From the time I see my child, I know something wrong. What happened? What's going on with you? I'm telling you, I know if she's in trouble, I know something happened, I know somebody upset her. She doesn't have to tell me. I look at her and I read her and I know something is wrong or something is right. We know our children, and we should know our children best.
Yes, like that is what is the ideal goal, because again, there are some parents who would be completely overwhelmed by their circumstances, so it may not always be possible for them. But if as the parent, so this comes back to you building into being a better adult, you know that, okay, so things weren't perfect for me while I was growing up, and I want to make that effort to make things better for my children, then you would try your best to, despite your own circumstances, create the effort or create the time, carve out the time to spend with your child to raise them in the way that you would prefer them to be, so they wouldn't, again, they still need to have their own experiences, but you don't want them to have terrible experiences that you had.
Don't ever forget that you were once there. Don't ever forget that you were once a child, you were once a teenager, been there, done that, so you would have had the experience, but also allow them to blossom and to have their experience.
Teenage experience as well.
Yeah. And I always say honesty is the best policy. We're not living in a bubble. Always tell your children the truth. Don't tell them no lie. And don't do things that you're doing but you don't expect them not to do.
Exactly.
And I always say it and I say it again. The phone ring and not home. Just don't answer the phone. Don't teach them to lie because you're very well home. If they have to answer the phone, hello, good afternoon, good night, mommy's a little busy or daddy's a little busy, I'll have them call you back. Or don't teach your children to lie. That's the first thing.
Pretty much.
We're doing it, but we don't want them to lie to us.
Exactly.
Stop it. Be aware of what you do and what you say, because once you make one lie, you have to make 10 others. So you live the life you expect your children. Again, we are human. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. But we aim and always try to be the best that we could. And if we do that and we live that sort of life, that's where our children will absorb and take. That's the takeaway they will have. Also be reminded that those kids are going to be adults one day. What do you want them to say about you and their childhood? You are the one that will be responsible for that.
Yes, as parents, you can save your children so much money in psychology fees because they don't need therapy from their childhood being raised by you.
That is so true, and that's why we have so many children that are broken and that are hurting and that are, and we make decisions sometimes, and we don't make decisions for our children, but we make decisions for ourselves. And when we do that, we hurt them along the way. So it is about when you know you have children, you make decisions based on the family's future.
Yes, definitely.
Not
I
yours
completely
personally,
agree.
because that's the decision you made, that's the choice you made as a parent, as an individual, to have children. And always know your life should never be the same. You can't expect to be a mother and a father and want to be liming and partying and not prioritizing, leaving your children home alone, or leaving the older ones to take care of that's not their duty and responsibility, that's yours.
Yeah, so once you, I agree with that to an extent, as an adult, because again, you are a human being yourself, so you are allowed to have your work-life balance yourself, but you have these children who are dependent on you, so some level of responsibility should go into the raising of them. So you shouldn't prioritize your, what's what I'm looking for? Your pleasure activities once you have fulfilled your professional activities. So it shouldn't be like work to provide for the family, then I take a breather, and then I get on to the children after that. It could be work to provide for the family, take care of the kids, and then have some time carved out for myself. So like I'm not saying parents aren't allowed to have fun.
Right, or strike a balance. You need that. You're adults. That's part of life. But remember, take care of your children first. Make sure they are your responsibility to put things in place in order. It's about striking a balance, as we say. I want to thank you kindly. This has been a very beautiful conversation. It's about our children. It's about good parenting. It's about being aware of decisions or the choices we make when it comes to our children. It is about having constructive conversations all the time. And it's really about trying to always make sure you give your best and always for the benefit and growth of your children to develop to be the best they can be, preparing them for their future, right?
So creating these systems and putting these systems in place for your child to grow into a successful and productive adult. And I don't want productivity to just be like how much money they earn, but they contribute in meaningful ways to society.
You're so correct about that. It's not about the money they earn, but also what they do with that and the balance that they strike. And always remember, you have to incorporate in that time, always make sure that you make time. Teach them about making time for God. That's your duty and responsibility as well. Whomever you choose to call God or whomever you choose to acknowledge God, it is important that you teach your children about respect, love, and gratitude for God at all times. Thank you. We'll have other conversations. God bless you. I'm really appreciative of what you imparted today, the knowledge that you've shared. May God continue to bless you.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning.
You're welcome, darling. This is where we're going to wrap things up. Here's reminding you to be good law-abiding citizens. Do what is right at all times. Here's also reminding you that with God and only God, all things are possible. I thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV. Great programming continues across the board, so stick and stay with us. And remember to like and share. That's important. Keep smiling, be positive, and always know the best is yet to come. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zelisa Singh Rupani. See you tomorrow.